Okay guys, I just finished cleaning up just slightly here so that I could continue to work. We're going to start next on the insert piece. Same scenario as we did. Excuse me, I had to have something to drink. We're going to do the same process with this insert. The only difference is, and this works just like the lid. You have these pieces. You want to make sure that your corners are done. You're going to glue this down. You're going to glue in your side pieces, same manner. You're going to make sure that, you have your spacing right, all of that good stuff. And it's basically just rebuilding almost like another lid or a base, and putting your pieces on. The only difference is on these pieces, there's like 4 hinges and sides. They're not offset because this piece is cut a little bit different, a little bit wider, because it's going inside the box. We had a little extra room, so there was no need to offset these. Everything is scored down the middle. Okay, you have these long ones. The wide ones are for the top of your box, once you put your sides on there, and the short ones are for the hinges inside. Okay, the narrow ones, or your hinges inside. That's all you need to remember. And why I did wide on the ends and not the sides too, I don't know. If you want to make yours wider, you can make them wider. If you want to make them narrow, you can do that too. It doesn't really matter because your cardstock is going to cover it. So that's where we are. So let's start on the center. And again, I am using liquid glue rather than score tape for this piece because I want to be able to move it should I need to move it. And if you use score tape, you can't really do that. I'm using the heavier bead of glue here. And all of these are marked IN or either I for insert. And I'm just going to fold these. I'm not really going to score them. They're not exact. And this is just going to help me kind of center it. I'm just going to pull them up so that it'll help me center this in place and get it square. That looks pretty good to me there. So let's flip it. It's going to line up pretty well. And I'm just getting this in the light where I can see and make sure that I can either see some score line or no score line on one side or the other. And just scoot it on there. And again, just like with the lid and the base, burnish it and spread that glue out. Let it get a good hold. Okay. These pieces, we're going to just pull back, just like you did your tabs for your others. I'm not going to use score tape on these. Make sure you put a bead of glue right there on top of that chipboard. And this is just to give you a finger hold so that you can lift this up out of the box. I guess it helps if you put glue on the entire piece. I'm just rolling that back, and then I'll go in there with my fingernail because I can't get my scraper in there. Maybe I can get my bone folder in there. And you want to burnish that and get a good crisp line on it. Okay. And then you're going to proceed just like we did with the pieces here. You're going to use a guide piece. Make sure that you get it flush, just like you did with the others. Make sure your edges are even. Okay, guys, now that you have got your pieces on there and you've worked them, just kind of gently pulling them up, making sure that you get those pulled together. And remember that this piece is on the inside of the end piece there. And fold over your paper and check it. And I need to snip that corner off just a little bit. And this is going to depend on how you put your main piece down. I got some dirt on mine, some glue from my thing here, but it's going to be okay because it's getting covered with a decorative paper anyway. You're just going to glue this into place, keeping it square. Just get it good and squared up. Press that over and hold it. I want to let it get a good hold. Let it dry for a second. To me, this is the hardest part of the box, keeping this piece square while that glue dries. I'm going to do the same on this side. And it's okay if it separates a little because we're going to pull those together with our other pieces. Make sure that you paint those with a little bit of paint, or if you're using dark paper, you can use a Copic marker or Sharpie, anything close to the color of your cardstock, because you don't want those showing. This is going to get covered. So you want these small tabs, and again, if you're using textured on one side and smooth on the other, you want the texture to go to the inside of the corner. And we're going to score tape these in, okay? Just put your score tape on each side, trim them off if you need to trim them off, just at an angle, just so that they fit and they're not hanging off the outside of the box. Just snip it off and fit it in. And you're going to do that in all four corners with score tape, and that's on these narrow ones, okay? And then you're going to, again, fold these, oops, got off of my score, right down the score line in the middle, and then the narrow ones are going to be your hinges here, and you may need to trim them depending on what cardstock, and the wide ones you're going to fold down the center as well. And this is after you need to put these pieces in first. Then you're going to do your inside hinges, and those are the narrow ones. These wide ones are going to go here across the top, and then the long ones will go across here. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check. I think all of these are the same size. They are. So your long ones are the same size. The only wide ones are the ones on the end. I don't know why I did it that way, but I did. Yes, I did, because we had more gap here than we have here. If this is overlapping, you'll want to trim it. You don't want it to overlap onto that and be bumpy. You want it to be smooth as you can get it. So score it accordingly and line that up, and it goes here. Then you're going to put your decorative pieces on. Right now I am going to put in my corners, put in my pieces here, and then I'm going to put my pieces on the top, and then these wide ones will finish it up and wrap on this edge. Pay attention more to your top edge than your bottom edge, okay? And if you have any card chipboard showing, touch it up with some paint or your Copic markers now, and then we'll come back and we'll put the decorative panels on. Okay, I'm just back checking on your progress and showing you mine. I'm putting my score tape along my long pieces now. I've already dabbed my corners here with paint at the top. You can do it before or after this step. That's totally up to you. But basically, this is the same process that we've already done on the lid and that we've done on the base of the box before we did all our hardware and our decorative work. It's the same exact process. And just line that up there. So, some off just a little, but it'll be all right. That corner's going to cover that. I might try to trim it down just a touch, just so it doesn't interfere, because I stuck it down in the wrong place. Don't forget your bead of glue. This is where we use score tape and glue, just like before. And if you didn't use score tape and glue, if you just use glue, that's okay too. Just kind of helps get it held in there. Just make sure you're doing your burnishing. Getting that excess glue out of there. Make it nice. Yes, I do need to trim. Still need to tear it off there. Perfect. And you can glue these pieces in or score tape them. I'm going to score tape mine, but I am going to run a bead of glue in my box there. Alright guys, I think that should get you through on this box. You're going to do your 4 outside corners. Make sure that any chipboard showing is covered, and I will see you back to put the decorative panels on. And it shouldn't take us, I have to really check and make sure that the panels fit. I have to run a test cut, and once I've done that, I will be back with you to put those on. Hey guys, I just wanted to tell you also, bring your box over, and I don't know if I showed you guys that, but remember I forgot to cover my corners there, and it showed through the windows. The chipboard did, just in a couple of places. This is my remedy. I put some of the little brass flowers from the spare parts and put a little pearl over them. I think that worked out just fine on the lid, and you can just see that it peeps through. It looks like a piece of metal lace right there on each one of the corners from the outside. So that's a remedy if you have that situation. You want to dry fit your box, and that's going to be right. It's going to only have just a small edge up here at the top. I know that we said we got a book going in here, but if you'll remember, you have some depth on your lid. So that's where that book is going to sit, and that's going to give you your compartment there, your little hidden space for you to put your goodies down in here that you want to hide. You know, your spare crafting chocolate and things like that. So I'll be back with you. We'll put the decorative panels on that, and then we'll work on the cover for the notebook. Make sure that you're smoothing your glue, and you're leaving a good edge. You want to have that little edge showing in there when you put your papers on. And that, guys, completes the insert for the box. And that gives you your little hiding place. I got it upside down. So I'm just going to drop mine in. It's maybe a little bit of a snug fit as we put all those papers on it. That's good. Don't want it to be rocking around and wobbly in there. And after it dries really well, it will probably shrink in just a little bit because it's still damp right now. But it's a good fit. It fits well. Yay! So there is that. Let's get a clear shot of it because my camera doesn't want to auto zoom for whatever reason. But there you go. That's with the insert on the inside. Maybe not. How's that? It's a little bit better. I must have bumped that at some point today while I was on the phone. But there you go. And now we're just going to work on the book that goes on the top of that. So let me go and get those, and we'll come back and we'll start working on that portion. Okay guys, I'm back, and now we're going to work on the cover. And I've raised the camera up so maybe you guys can get a better view, but you're going to get a better view of all my junk that has landed up here during this project as well. So just overlook it. I will clean it up before I start the next project. But now we're going to work on the cover. And I'm hoping, I think my book may be a little bit wide for it and narrow. But this is made for a, I want to say 6x9, so that it fits directly in there. And this is for one that opens in this direction. If you have one that opens in this direction, steno style, there is another file in there, but it is the same size, 6x9, okay? And I'm just using that for an example. I will probably get a book that works well with this. And I accidentally got jammed up with my cardstock there, but I'm going to live with it and use it because it's just the wrap, it's not the cover. And basically this is going to work the same way as the other did. I have glue on my desk, so it's kind of trying to stick to my paper. We are going to line these up. These are going to go on here just like this, in this position, okay? And then this piece is going to go here. And I'm going to say, maybe start with one on the ends because it's supposed to go right up to where your paper is cut on both sides, okay? And you just want to kind of judge that it's in the right spot. So that's the one that I suggest starting with, but it's up to you. And again, you can use score tape if you want. I'm going to use glue so that I get some slide so I can make sure I get this in the right spot. And then I get it straight. Get it as straight as you can get it on there. That looks looks good to me. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to burnish it. And I've got my smooth side to the outside and textured to the end, just so it's the same as the rest of my project. And I am going to place this piece in, and I need a guide piece. Try to get one that I haven't worn out the edge on so I can get in there. And this piece, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it up. And there we go. I was fixing to say this one is almost empty. Just going to get a good amount of glue because I want a good slide on this. Going to push it in there. And I'm going to make sure that it's straight with this one. I'll just use this piece. Might be better for me. You just want them even, and you want to be able to have a slot this will go in and out of cleanly. Okay, and then we're going to apply this piece. And then I'm going to just flip it over and burnish that side too. And then I'm just going to bring this piece in. We can trim this off if we need to. It may be a little long. That looks good. You might get some trash in yours like I just did when you're doing that. Just kind of brush it out of there. And then rub that glue out. Give it spread. And I believe that if you do the other one, there's only one piece of chipboard on that one because you're using your paper as, I think the paper is, I had the paper doubled up, your cardstock, two different types, so that you could, one is bigger than the other, if you know what I mean. It's two panels laid like this of your cardstock, 2 or 3 different of all the colors that you used in your project for your cover, and then because it's stenotype, and then you had just one chipboard for the back piece. And then all we're going to do is I'm going to score tape this, I believe, just to make this one easier. So get your score tape on all the edges. And I use so much glue, I'm getting a little curl. I may have to put a book on it and let it dry. That's the only thing you have to be careful of, is how much glue you use. And if you use the mixed media glue like this, it might work just as well as the art glitter glue. It's more of a petroleum base instead of a water base like this, so you may not get that issue using it. But I'm gonna get that crease in there. Can't remember if I need to clip it here. Need to clip it. I am going to say that I do. So don't clip yours yet. Let's make sure that this is correct. If it is, I will do it in the file, and if it's not, I won't. But I think it gets clipped. It's been a while. Okay. And then I'm just going to take that one off. Put my small bead of glue here and wrap that forward. And I know that we're going to be wrapping the others forward, but when we close this, I didn't want a wrinkle in there. And I think that's why I clipped it once before, I think. Just want to make sure that you're getting a good close on those. Like so. And now I'm going to do my other edges. Forgot to burnish. Like I said, this project is time consuming, but it's really not that difficult to do. And in my opinion, it's well worth it. I just love this box and the whole thing, the insert, the book, all of it. And you can do your journal, or you can do a photo album. You could even just put your cards in here. Maybe put a closure band of ribbon or elastic. Tons of things. And we're going to decorate the front of this too because it shows through the glass. It's going to be pretty. Those are crisp edges. Yeah, I'm going to put a book or something on this. I think it'll relax after my glue dries. Normally does, anyway. This is the first time I've worked with the Cricut chipboard, so I'm assuming that it will. Okay. I'm going to check that before I, yep. Should fold in pretty well. And yours should be really smooth here. Like I said, I messed mine up taking it off the mat. But I think it's going to be hidden and it won't be seen anyway. And I forgot to wash my paintbrush. Of course I did. Going to dab a little bit of paint right there on those. I don't know where my cloth went. I think I took it to the other room. I thought I was done. I'm just going to give it a little dab of paint there. Just to make sure that it covers in there, that's all you want to do. I'm going to do this other side. I have a bigger gap over here. I must not have got it on there well. I'm going to live with it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it with something. I'm going to throw some paint on there just to cover it up. I'll probably cut a small piece of paper and go back over it. Okay. And I am going to wash my paintbrush and I will come back and show you how to put those other two strips on. Okay guys, I'm back. I just snipped off a couple of corners off of a piece of cardstock and put over that where I had the big gap. When you put, like I said, this video is being shot while I do my test piece and set up the file. So I'm going to have errors that you shouldn't have. I will add another 1/2 inch to that piece so that you have a little bit of wiggle room. But when you make it, just make sure that you put these pieces down. Maybe tack them down with a piece of score tape, fold these edges over, and make sure you have enough room. I don't know why that one, I put it in the same spot I thought, and it should have given me enough room. But if not, you can fix it with just a couple of cardstock corners. Just snip the corner off and lay it in place. But you're still going to have to paint any edges, just like we did with the rest of the box that show. And this is cardstock that was cut when I had to change my blades. This piece is going to go right here. I thought I had 2 more panels, but I don't. Let's see. You're just going to line that up and center that in right here. And just a little bead down here too. I'm not going to get too heavy-handed with this on there. But then you're just going to line this up, center, and it's not going to go end to end. It's not supposed to. You don't want it to get jammed up in there. kind of burnish it down, and then bring, as you close it, kind of bring that in just a little while you can get it to scoot. You just kind of want to put like a little indentation score in there. And if your end comes up like that, don't worry about it. We'll glue it back down. I just want to be able to get it to close. Okay. Score tape would probably do better on the sides than the glue. That way they won't move on you. But I would score tape and rub this in, glue and burnish it down, and then score tape that down. Because the glue is going to shift on you as you do this. And I just didn't think about it when you just want to give it some play there. You don't want it to be too tight. Yeah, see, it's going to keep shifting when I close it. You're just going to have to keep working. You're just kind of breaking down that paper just a little bit. Not enough to break it and put a hole. If you do, you're going to have to cut another piece because it will show.
It's 12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock? Okay. And now this is where my decision comes in. I don't really know how I want to do this. I want to make sure that dries before I start breaking it down, because we're just going to continue to break that paper down. Just like so. I want to make sure that it's staying stuck, and it is, in the center. Keeping it lined up. And it's breaking down on the back. That's okay. We're going to cover that with cardstock. If yours does that, just don't worry about it. We're going to cover it. My paper didn't have enough give. Okay. You're going to put your decorative panels here, one down the center, two on each side, and one down the back. So you're going to have decorative panels there. If you want a band or whatever, this is not the book I'm going to use. I don't have my book yet, so I don't know how I want to do it. You can put elastic or a ribbon or something of that nature to hold the back of that book in, or you can do a piece of cardstock. If you're going to do the cardstock, I would put a fold in it down each side. I think I am going to do cardstock for mine. I'm going to put that fold in there just so you have a nice smooth edge. And then I am going to score tape that down so that my pages don't hang on it when I put it in and out of this. So get it as close to the edge as you can get it. And this may be longer than I actually need. I did use a whole roll of score tape. I had like an inch left. Well, that was a used roll too. I did use some on another project. I'm just going to fold that over. And this may be longer than what I need to. I haven't checked it yet. Now I'm going to fold that over. And I'm just going to give a fold a couple of inches in. And like I said, you can use ribbon for this. You can use elastic, whatever you want. I'm going to give that just another pinch in. I think that might be enough. It might be too much. Go back just a little bit. I want it to come right to the edge so that I have room to get my panel in there. So I am going to score tape this down as well. And if you have the wider, that would really work best here. But I'm just going to put like a bead of glue, some tape, glue, tape, glue. And I am not going to put this down yet. I am going to cut my panels, and then we'll come back and then we'll apply this and the panels and finish up the book or the notebook cover. So I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Just go ahead and get this ready and don't do anything with it yet if you're using the cardstock like I am. Okay guys, like I said, mine is a test cut. I am filming as I test cut and do this. And when I got my book to close, look what happened. And I remembered I should not have glued the back of this spine. I should have left enough space, but I shouldn't have glued this. The front panel and the back panel get glued, and this one is only held in place by the score right here, so that when you close it, that paper has room to move. But there is a way to fix it. If you've done yours this way and it happened, like I said, I am suggesting to everybody, I think, that they watch the steps for each section before they actually attempt it. Even though this is a tutorial video, I will put a splash screen up that says don't do this. But make sure you don't do this. And I'm about to do it again, or I was about to. Do not glue this back. It needs room to move. So I'm just going to score tape here. And this is not folded perfect. I just cut a test piece on my... This would work if I hadn't glued this, so your piece should be fine. This is just in case. You can fix it. You won't have to trash your chipboard. It's expensive, I get it. And I haven't even got any more chipboard to redo mine with because my other order has not gotten here yet. So this is what we're going to do to fix it. And nobody's going to know but us. And hey, look at this. They won't see it. And I have a Zutter. I don't know if all of you guys know what that is. But it's a binder. It helps you bind your books and stuff. So you could actually, if you have one of those, make your own book. And I'm just going to place that down. That way it has some give. You see that? That's what you need. It needs to have give, okay, on that. We're going to still decorate that up, but we need to have give. Actually, I think that does not get, I did cut a panel for it, but I don't know that I'm going to use it. And let's see. I think I'm going to put this on the front panel here. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Almost out of glue here. So after you, if you had to do a repair, do your repair, and then let's put down the front panel. And then I'm going to do the back panel. I don't know which is prettier, the front or the back. Doesn't matter, you could lay it in your box either way. So corners lifting up her edges. How pretty. That is pretty even without a piece on there. But I'm just going to play with this piece of paper and kind of try to get a roll in it on the edge of my table. Let's get a little bit of roll. And then I can place that on there like so. Which do I like best? I do like that. So just kind of get a little roll in there. You can. This way. And just be careful working it on. Yay, perfect. Oops. Let's leave it closed till it dries so your edges don't pop up like mine. This would probably do better with score tape. I should have used score tape on this. Let's see. I'm just going to get that edge really good. But I do think score tape is your best bet here for this spine piece. Because we could move on. This would be dry and we could move on. But I have to babysit it. But that's okay. Like I said, this is the test cut for the file. Yay. It's staying now. That should hold it. And I'm going to open this up and let's put the interior pieces. I got a little curl going on there, don't I? That's okay. Do I want to go that way or this way? I think I'm going to go this way just like I did with the other one. Just so we're matching. Trying to decide. I think I like it like that. So, actually, nope. I should have flipped my mat over and taken my paper off instead of doing it that way, but I didn't. We are almost done with this project. This project has taken me 4 days, but I had to set up the file as well. This project, you could probably do this whole, well, we have done this whole project basically in a day. I did do the lid and some stuff last night, but we've done most of it all day today. So I'm going to say this is a 2 to 3 day project for your first one until you get everything put down. And it's probably just taken me that long because I've had to adjust the file and go in. And I've had to take breaks and things of that nature. But if you just sat down to do the project, you could probably do it in a day. No need to rush it though, right? Enjoy it. Okay. And I said I wasn't going to do that, and I did it anyway. I need to lift that up on both ends. You guessed why, right? What did I forget? My band. I need my band in there. Do as I say and not as I do. Don't forget your band. I think I need to go back on that. I'm just kind of not centering, but centering, if that makes any sense. It's still sticky good. I may need a little more glue there. See, if I had been paying attention, I would have been able to trim that off just a hair with my trimmer and not have to rework this piece. I'm going to have to get my gum eraser and get that glue off the end where I had to refold. Maybe it'll stay. I sat there and told myself, don't forget your band. Don't forget your band. Don't forget your band. And I still forgot my band. I'm glad it was still tacky though. And now you can slip your book in there, or a page of your book, something, so that I put this on my Zutter and did that. I forgot I had this Heidi Swap. It's got all these little pockets and things in there, and I never knew what to do with them, so that's what I'm using this for. And I hope that's not too tight for it. Yay! I think it's perfect. Look at that, guys. I got lucky. Well, it's going to hang over the edge a little bit, but I can live with that. Not bad for something I had on hand. And of course, like I said, if you have your Rosetta, you can make one. And I know it's not pink and matching the rest of this, but it'll do just for the videos and stuff to show how the book works. And I'm thinking a piece of elastic will give you more give. Like I said, I've got to get that glue off of that end. I'm going to take a gum eraser and get that score tape off of it. Off that end where I had to reset the size. But there we go. I can live with that. And then you can decorate this up if you want. If you're going to pierce it with and do brads, you need to do it before you put you need to put this panel on, put your brads on, and then put your decorative panel. But I'm just gluing mine down. I am not going to brad them in. I'm just going to scatter a couple about. Try to decide where I want them. I don't like that one. How about that? And then I'm just going to use mixed media glue for it. Just kind of let them land somewhere in there. You don't have to put anything if you don't want to. Mixed media glue is stringy, but it does dry crystal clear, and it should hold these metal pieces on just fine. I've used them to put heavier pieces than this on, like the 3D gazebos and things like that. And enough glue is going to squish up out of there, and I'm going to use some of these pearls. There they are. And these are just like a little champagne colored pearl. Oh, I don't know where that one went. They do have some stick on them, but not enough. That mixed media will hold them on there. These came with a white pearl brad, and it's cute, but with this paper that I used, I prefer the champagne color over the white. Turn loose of my finger and the tweezers. But you can embellish yours any way you want. That's going to take a little while for those to dry. And my folder is a little bit larger. I could probably cut that off with the Cricut, but I'm not going to. Probably a little bit larger than what we need. Hopefully it'll fit. If not, I'll just take it out. Here's our box. And this will actually go in like this. Yay! How cute is that, guys? I think it's adorable. I'm I love it. I love it. I don't know what I did with my lock, but I'll find it. It's somewhere here on my desk. There it is. And then you can just lock it with your little lock if you bought one, a closure that had a lock. I got a little 3-piece lock here. And I'm just going to put that on the front and lock it back up. I may do a little pocket on the front, or either do a little chain and hang this. I may pull it. Well, I can't pull my brad out. I should have thought about that. Do a little chain. I can do a ribbon. I'll do a little ribbon and tack it to the handle over here or something so I don't lose my key. Just set it in the front like so. But that completes the project, guys. I do apologize that it's such a long video, but it is well worth it. Believe me, it's well worth it. I wish that you could feel the weight of this box and how nice that it really is and how it turned out. You have to make one just to see. If you don't make it for a gift, make it for yourself. You guys have a wonderful day. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Use my links below to shop with. It will earn me a small commission, and that's what allows me to bring you files like this and videos, and keeps the groups running. Come on over and join us in the Facebook groups if you're not a member, or you can go over and support me on Patreon. That I do earn the funds that people give me there, and that helps me buy the supplies and things like that, because I do go through quite a bit, extra cutting and things like that to make sure things fit. So it does help me cover those costs and bring you guys these files, and I appreciate you very, very much, and I thank you in advance. You guys have a wonderful night and enjoy your box. Have a great day.